Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my virtual classroom, MKA Classroom. Now let's start today's video tutorial. Cost of capital. So this is our new chapter, cost of capital. This is very simple to understand. In farm, there are using several types of capital for making business, and this capital has a cost to maintain. So as like you are investing in your own fund, you have a desire in your mind to get profit, that is the return. And in the sense of farm, that is the cost of capital of that farm, because that farm are using your fund. That's why that farm are giving you, that's the return. In the same way, whenever you take loan from bank, you have to pay interest, because you are using bank's fund for your betterment, for your company's enhancement. That's why you are provide interest to them, and that interest is called cost of capital. Now we will try to see cost of capital represents the firm's cost of financing and is the minimum rate of return. Then represents cost of capital the firm's cost of financing and the minimum rate of return for the project to must earn increase in the firm's value. Actually, cost of capital is the minimum rate of return that will enhance the firm value. So you have to remember that every firm can be survive in the market. To survive, it has to earn a minimum return, that is to maintain its operating cost. Cost of capital actually is that thing that you have to earn to maintain in the capital market, to survive in the capital market. So here you will see there has the project have cost 1 lakh, life 20 years, expected return 7%. But if you finance this 1 lakh taka, then debt cost 6%. So you have only 1% profit. Expected return 7%. That means you have to earn minimum 7% on this project to survive. But if you take this 1 lakh taka as a loan, you have to pay 6% debt interest. So it will very tough for you to survive in the market with the 1%. So you have all of your operating cost in front of you. But after 1 week, you are getting another opportunity, whereas the cost 1 lakh, life 20 years, expected return 12%. Least costly financing sources available are 14%. So in this instance, the firm rejects the opportunity because 14% financing cost is greater than 12% expected return. So in the normal sense, here in the normal sense 1% profit, but here negative 2%. In the normal sense it should be rejected. But if your weighted average, if we use the weighted average cost of capital, then it can be used as our cost. As like if you take 50,000 taka as a debt and 50,000 taka as the equity, that is 1 lakh taka, then what will happen? 6% debt, 50%, and 14% equity cost, 50%. That is weighted average cost of capital is 10%, which is less than 12%. That means 12% your expected return is greater than weighted average cost of capital. So you may think this matter, accept or reject this matter. Sources of long-term capital. Sources of long-term capital: long-term debt, stockholders' equity, preferred stock, common stock equity, common stock, retained earnings. Actually these are the sources of long-term capital. Here long-term capital, long-term debt, preferred stock, common stock, and retained earnings. And now we are going to learn to how to calculate this long-term assets cost. First one, cost of long-term debt. So we know it, long-term debt means with maturity period more than 5 years. So cost of long-term debt is the financing cost associated with the new funds raised through long-term borrowing. Typically funds are raised through sale of corporate bonds. That is the long-term debt. Net proceeds: funds actually raised by the firm from the sale of security. The net proceeds from sale of bond or any security are funds that the firm receives from the sale. The total proceeds are reduced by the flotation cost. What is the flotation cost? Flotation cost, total cost of issuing and selling the security. At the issuing and selling securities, they are incurred several costs. That cost are called flotation cost. And net proceeds, funds are actually received by the firm from the sale of security. That is the net proceeds, or sometimes we can call it the profit. This cost apply to all public offering of securities, debt, preferred stock, and common stock. They include two components. One is underwriting cost, that is the compensation earned by the investment bankers for selling the security, and two, administrative cost, issuer expenses such as legal, accounting, and printing. So here has the Dowsess Corporations, a major hardware manufacturer, is contemplating selling 10 million worth of 20-year 9% coupon bonds with a par value of 1,000. because bonds with similar risks and returns greater than 9%, the firm must sell the bonds for 980 to compensate for the lower coupon interest rate. So here you will see that its face value is 1 lakh, but in the market it sells 980 taka. Why 20 taka less? Because in the market has greater than 9% bond, that's why it is selling 20 taka less to capture the market. The flotation costs are 2% of par value of the bond, that is 0.2 into 1000, that is 20 taka. Net proceeds to the firm for the sale of each bonds are therefore 980 minus 20, that means 960 taka. So here we have seen that flotation cost and net proceeds. So net proceeds, what will be? Net proceeds comes from the sale value, security value, minus its flotation cost. So it has the flotation cost 2% flotation cost, so that should be deducted from its value 980 minus 20. Before tax cost of debt, so RD, here we are using RD. So remember that sometimes somewhere you will see KD, so don't take it seriously. These two things are same, KD, KR, KP, so everything represents the cost of capital. KD or KRD, cost of debt, KP, cost of preferred stock, KC, cost of common stock, RC, cost of common stock. So these are the symbols of common stock, sorry, cost of capital. So take it easy. So here you will see before tax cost of debt RD is simply the rate of return firm must pay one new borrowing. A firm's before tax cost of debt for bonds can be found in any of the three ways: quotation, calculations, or approximations. So you can see the three ways of calculations of the cost of debt. So here as an example you will see 960 were net proceeds of 20-year bond with 1000 face value. In the previous examples here you will see 9% interest rate. The calculations of annual cost is quite simple. The cash flow pattern associated with these bonds are in here. You will see that is the cost, and each year 1 to 20 years you will get 90 taka for your cash outflow. This is the company, this has to pay 90 taka each year, and after 20 years this company will provide 1000 taka to its holder. So from the bondholder it receives 960 taka. 1 to 20 years it provides 90 taka each year to the bondholder, and after 20 years it will pay 1000 taka. So here where you can calculate what will happen in this method. Before cost of debt should be 9.52%. How it is calculated? Okay, the cost of debt before tax, this is the formula approximation, that is I, that should be M, that is the maturity value, minus ND, that is net proceed sell from the date, divided by ND plus 1000 divided by 2. These are the formula for cost of debt before tax. Then our examples, if we put down this value, here I means interest, annual interest. So we are getting 90 taka from this bond, 1000 its maturity value, selling 960 taka, maturity value, maturity at 20 years. So it is 9.38%. that is our cost of debt before tax. So in the same way, if the cost of debt after tax, what will happen? RD into 1 minus T. That means these are the formula into 1 minus tax rate, 1 minus T. Then we can get the cost of debt after tax. So these are the RD 1 minus T. So in the same examples, if the Dow Jones Corporation faces 40% tax rate, then what will happen? We have 4.4, we are using 9.42. So these calculations they are using Excel's calculations. So by approximations method it will 9.388. so you can use this value in here, 9.33 cost of before tax cost of debt into 1 minus tax rate. So that should be 5.67% as a after tax cost of debt. So in this way you can see these examples. It will be clear. Then cost of preferred stock. So cost of preferred stock, preferred stock represents a special type of ownership interest in the firm. It gives the preferred stockholders the right to receive stated dividends before the firm can distribute any earnings to the common stockholders. So preferred stockholders can get the preference beyond the common stockholders. That's why it is called preferred stocks. So it receives preferred stock dividend. So here is RP. So sometimes you will see KP, cost of preferred stocks, cost of preferred stock. So the ratio of preferred stock dividend to the firm net proceeds from the sale of preferred stock. The cost of preferred stocks formula DP divided by NP. That is the formula for cost of preferred stock. So here is the examples. You are seeing that Business Corporations is contemplating issuance a 10% preferred stock that they expect to sell 87 per share. The cost of selling a stock will be 5 per share. So that is the flotation cost. The first step in finding the cost of a stock is to calculate the dollar amount annual preferred dividend. That is the 10% dividend. That is the 8.70. That is 10% of 87. So the net proceeds per share from the proposed sale of stock equal to sale price minus flotation cost. Sale price 87 and minus flotation cost 5, 82 taka. So now you will see the received dividend 8.70 divided by net proceeds 82 taka. That is 10.6% cost of preferred stock, DP, dividend of preferred stock. So that's why you have to calculate at first dividend of preferred stock divided by net proceeds of sale of preferred stock. So net proceeds 82 taka. So in this way you can calculate the cost of preferred stock. It is symbols of RP. Sometimes it is symbol of KP. So we will stop here. Next class, after that we will continue cost of common stock from there. This all about today. Stay home, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.